This episode, of course, we will be talking about the new developments, of course, that are happening with Bafana and South African football as a whole, of course. So we're looking at the direction that where we're going, and do we really have hope in South Africa? Do we? I don't know. Let's find out. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag. Today's episode, of course, is brought to you by Islo Studios and Pixelate, YZLOE. Find them on Instagram and all social media, of course. And Pixelate, PIIXILATE. And of course, they can lace you with all types of videography, music, production, whatever it is that you do, man. They can definitely lace you up on that. And they're also producing our show for today. So thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. And today's episode, of course, we will be talking about the new developments, of course, that are happening with Bafana and South African football as a whole, of course. So we're looking at the direction that where we're going, and do we really have hope in South Africa? Do we? I don't know. Let's find out. So we are excited now in South Africa. As you know, Lyle has been signed to Burnley. So as you know, Vincent Company is giving him an opportunity, and he's no stranger to working with South Africans. Of course, he was working with Percy back at Anderlecht, and back at Anderlecht, of course, he wanted to buy Mokwena before he wanted to go to Sundown. So I do think he has a keen eye on South Africans. He identifies the attributes that we have, and it's great that he's taking a chance now Foster. And he's only 22 years old. Burnley is currently in the championship, and they're also pushing for a promotion spot. So if everything goes well, our boy will be playing in the Premier League next season, and as we know, it's only up from there. So we're really proud of him, and he's one of those that's going to be leading the line for Bafana. Hopefully of course, he's coming off of an injury as well, also making his strides, getting back into the Strasbourg first team, coming off of the bench, but has been really inspirational and acting as a super sub. So we're really excited about that as well. So we're also talking about, of course, about Njabulo Blom. Also recently went to the MLS. We're really excited to see the type of player he's going to develop into while at St. Louis City. He has Bradley Carnell over there, so he has the support of a coach who believes in him, maybe knows him as well and knows how best to utilize him. But it will be great for him to be in a different environment, of course, playing against different caliber of players, different language, different environment, and he's going to have to step up for his team. It's not just that it's an easy pass now that you have a coach who knows you. You do still have to perform and prove why you are there. And you know, the MLS is a good league. We have seen how Mokwena has grown as a player, especially in the previous friendlies that we played. Scored 2 goals and was a leading man for Bafana. You know, so it's great to see the type of players that these guys develop into when they do move overseas. But from the MLS, of course, we do want to see these guys move on to bigger teams. Of course, the same as Foster as well. Burnley is also another team that we think could act as a stepping stone. You know, maybe after 2 or 3 seasons, who knows, could be playing for a bigger team, and we're really excited about that as well. And also Percy, he has been really coming back, especially from injury. He has been really unlikely, especially in the 2022 year, but he could be fit for the FIFA World Cup. Really no stranger to that arena as well. Has fought there with Mamelodi Sundowns, and now he's back at it again with Al Ahly. And it seems that his coach does believe in him as well, especially among the strikers that he has. He has spoken about how he really likes him as an option. Really skillful as well. And when Percy is really fit, he is a really good addition for Bafana. You know, so I really think he's one that shouldn't be left out in the cold. And Hugo Bruce definitely shouldn't be too hard on Percy. I think that's something that he has been in the past. And this is part of the reason why, for me personally, I do think that he can lay a foundation, a really good foundation for us. But going forward, we do need somebody who is a homegrown coach, and we have seen in recent times South Africa is capable of producing really good coaches. Pitso mosimane is a world-travel coach now. He coached in Egypt, now he's in Saudi Arabia, and he's doing the thing. You know, his team is in pole position to get promoted as well. So he's really showing the type of coach that he is. We also have Benni Mccarthy now, who, as much as Ten Hag has been credited for what has been happening in Manchester United, we have seen the turnaround, especially the striking force of Manchester United. Rashford has been coming into the fold. The confidence is back, the sharpness is back. We can see the potential that he has as a youngster, you know. So that is coming into play right now. And Benni Mccarthy has been credited by a lot of the players. Him, and I'm talking about Rashford himself, Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, you know, all of these players have spoken about the type of impact that Benni has had, and it shows the type of coaches that we have as South Africa. You know, Bradley Carnell as well, also well travelled, been doing his thing in the MLS, and now he's the head coach of St. Louis, but he was at Red Bull City as well. So he was in Germany also before that. So it's great to see that these coaches are really doing well. Mokwena also taking the mantle over in South African football, and I'm talking about Sundowns specifically. They've just broken their own record now, going on to is it around what 11 wins now. Sundowns have gone without losing. You know, that's unprecedented. You know, and anybody can say, oh well, but it's Sundowns and this, that, and the other. But Arthur Zwane, the guy he recently beat in Kaizer Chiefs just now, couldn't replicate the same results, and they could be called young coaches. You know, both of them. Maybe not necessarily in terms of age, but it's also in terms of how long they've been in the game. Rulani, of course, has been there a little bit longer, having worked as assistant coach, also having had a stint at Orlando Pirates as well. But we're talking about the type of caliber of coaches that we have in South Africa. So I think among the pool that we've been talking about, especially if we implement a lot of the former players as well, we could definitely have a really good technical team, good management in SAFA as well, and a really good coaching system for the national team to take us forward. And for me personally, I would love Benni Mccarthy to be that guy. Maybe not now, maybe in a few years. He's really developing at Manchester United. He's enjoying his time and he's making a difference there, you know, and that's, I don't think it would be fair to just put him back now, but definitely in the future, I definitely think he's one that we should make the national coach. I think there is no player in South African football who will not be inspired by this man just being his coach. You know, apart from the fact that, hey, he'll tell you how to do tactics, the fact that this guy won the Champions League, there is no other South African player who's ever done that. And there is no other player who has achieved what he has achieved in Europe. So I think he will be a coach who will definitely be a good mentor for these players, especially the ones who are trying to make them up abroad. Talking about Lyle Foster, as we spoke about earlier, we're talking about Corissa, who's currently in Portugal right now, making waves, you know. He's in a bit of a shaky position in terms of the fact that he's a really good player, too good for the under-23s. You know, he really deserves good first team football. He has been getting first team football at the team he's been loaned out at Moravente, where he's scored about 8 goals, so equaling Lyle Foster in his scoring tally, right? And he's a wide player as well, really creative. Definitely can add another dynamic to Bafana. But we're talking about those type of players. Satola as well. Shinga has been making waves also, playing as a defender in the left back position. You know, so that's another position that we don't really have a lot of depth in. And we have seen a lot of weaknesses, especially when we played the friendly against France. Sometimes the wing back position can be a position that, especially when it comes to selection, can be quite shaky. So it's great to see that boy making waves on that front. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our episode for today. If you do think there are any players that we left out, or any players that you do think could be a great addition to the national team, definitely leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear that from you. And that brings us to the end of our that brings us to the end of our episode for today. And yeah, another episode, another fake up in the outro. By the time we live and we learn. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of our episode for today. I'm Fourth Kind. It was great to see you, scouts. And please, guys, subscribe, man. Do the right thing. Subscribe, share to your brother, your uncle, your whoever, man. Let's try and grow this community. Until next time, again, sub sharp.